It originates in man's heart. Jesus in Matthew 15th chapter, verse 19, he says, "For out of the heart proceed evil thoughts, murders, adulteries, fornications, thefts, false witness, blasphemies. All these things, these are the things which defile a man." Okay, so why all these evil things coming out of man, all the time? It's like John. Let's turn to 1 John. And chapter 2, verse 15, he says, "Love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. If any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in him. For all that is in the world, the lust of the flesh, and the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life, is not of the Father, but is of the world. And the world passes away, or is passing away, or will pass away, and the lust thereof. But he that doeth the will of God abideth forever." So, this is why there is strife in the whole world. The nation fighting against nation for the lusts of the things that they lust after. Even in a small town, there's fighting because, what does Jesus say? Because of the what comes out of the heart. Adulteries, fornications, thefts, false witnesses. So everybody wants the same thing a lot of times. Just like in the animal world. The animals, they take great care of their young. But when mating season happens, that's when the men start banging heads, to see who's going to get the doe, the female. There's the same thing with humans. It's all competition, brother against brother, neighbor against neighbor. Who's going to get the woman? And who's going to get the more money so they can have the great, nice house to enjoy all the women with, And it's just going to continue like this. You see, there's a cause for the problems, and then there's a solution to the problems. You may not want the solution, so then you keep getting into strife and fighting and trouble. Like it says in the Psalms, a man's years are 70, maybe he's mighty 80 years, yet their insistence is on trouble and hurtfulness. And then away we fly, then you're dead. So, God made the earth to be a paradise. And the kingdom of God is going to bring it back into that condition. But that means that men's hearts have to change. And there's an interesting thing here in now this is a little hard to take for many people, but Jesus told us what was going to be. The Pharisees asked him, the Sadducees, they came to him. They don't believe in the resurrection, so they were asking about the resurrection. When a man died, his brother was supposed to take his wife. So there was 7 men that had this one wife because they kept dying, and she kept marrying another brother. And the Pharisees asked him, "Well, in the resurrection, whose wife is she going to be?" Because 7 had her. This is in Matthew the 22nd chapter. And Jesus says, "You err because you don't know the scriptures and you don't know the power of God." And they talk about the resurrection. But as touching the resurrection, have you not read that which was spoken unto you by God, saying, "I am the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob"? God is not the God of the dead, but of the living. So they're going to be resurrected, is what he's saying. And they asked them, when they asked him this, also in verse 30, Jesus says, "For in the resurrection they neither marry nor are given in marriage, but are as the angels of God in heaven." Now you know that the angels of God, they were not created in this physical dimension or this physical universe. So, and they don't have marriage. Jesus was saying right here, they don't have marriage and children. They don't reproduce, but they're created by God. So in the resurrection at that time, there won't be any more marrying. We're going to have to be like angels in heaven. There's not going to be any more lust of the flesh, because there's not going to be any more reproduction. Remember, God told Adam and Eve to fill the earth, multiply and fill the earth, and cultivate it, subdue it, take care of it. But when it's full, you see, there's no more need for multiplication. Because why? Because everlasting life. We're created in the image of God, and we're going to live forever. So we don't keep reproducing just when the earth is full. So that's why we're going to be like angels in heaven. And you know, it's interesting because when you think about the world and you think about your own life, you know, it's really interesting because we live in this time. It's like you ever see that the sign of the drama? It's either you're laughing or you're crying, you know. And they say like manic depressive, or everybody, they say, have ups and downs. They say manic depressive is real big, but everybody has the up and the down. And it's interesting because in Luke, the 3rd chapter, he was speaking about John the Baptist. John the Baptist was preaching this. He says, every valley shall be filled, and every mountain and hill shall be brought low, and the crooked shall be made straight. This is from Isaiah. And it's here in Luke, the 3rd chapter, verse 5. And the crooked shall be made straight, and the rough way shall be made smooth, and all flesh shall see the salvation of God. So no more big mountains and no more deep valleys. You know, this is going to be, you take a look at the way people live today. You see the poor down in the valley and the rich way up in the mountains, but it's all going to be the same. Everybody's going to be the same economically. There's not going to be that differentiation, rich and the poor suffering, but the whole earth is going to be shared by those who love God. Those that do the will of God remain forever, John said. But also emotionally, when we take away all that lust, we're not going to have the lows, and because this strife, you know, up and down, you know, you're thinking that the woman is going to solve all your problems, and then she disappoints you, and you go down, you know. That's what a lot of it is caused by. And you know, a lot of women are really treacherous. That's why it says in the Proverbs. Let's turn to Proverbs 31st chapter. And 31st chapter. And the words of King Lemuel, the prophecy that his mother taught him. Verse 3 says, give not thy strength unto women, nor thy ways to that which destroyeth kings. Yeah, the women can destroy you, and they can destroy kings. You know, why? Because there's so many treacherous women. It doesn't matter how much money you have. Take a look at Paul McCartney, for example. He married that woman that lost her leg in a landmine, and she took him for everything she could get for him. She wasn't faithful. You know, a lot of women saying, "Oh, we hate all men. They're nasty." You know. They just want sex. They just want our bodies. If a man just wanted your body, they'd just go to prostitutes, man. Man wants love, real love, and he wants faithfulness. And it's very hard to find.